Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Horseback Archery podcast with me, Linda,
And me, Johan.
And today we have an episode with another guest, and that is Jose. Do I say your name correct now?
Hello there. Yeah, you said it right. Yes, it's Jose. That's right.
I'm not really good at Spanish.
That's fine. I'm here to correct. No, I'm joking.
Yes, and that's perfect. And you are competing for Spain, but you actually compete a lot in the whole Europe.
Yes, I did. I represent Spain in most of the competitions I can, always. Actually, in the last years, I participated in many competitions. Only this year, we will see how it goes because I got a new job in Switzerland, and because of time and money, I mean, it will depend. But yeah, I go to the competitions with my Spanish team, which is a very small one, but still we are.
What did motivate you to start horseback archery?
That's a very nice question because it was actually a book from a writer called Con Igulden, if I actually said it right.
Yes,
Called
yes.
Con Igulden, yeah. And he wrote this series of books about Genghis Khan, his life, right? And the first book was called Wolf of the Plains. So I read it 5 years ago or 6 years ago. And when I finished that book, I remember myself thinking, this is amazing. Is there anybody in this world doing this for fun, like shooting bows on horses? And that's what actually motivated me to Google it. And then I found a community in Europe and started to text them. Back then I was living in Berlin, and there is in Germany an association. So I texted them, and someone told me that there is someone living close to Berlin doing the sport. And so I went directly there to ask in person. And this is how I started. Like, hey, Christian, his name is Christian. I have no idea about riding or shooting bows, arrows, but I would love to do this. Just really like this. Boom.
You haven't even ridden before.
No, I haven't. I mean, probably twice in my life. Riding horses was not seriously like 2 or 3 times in my life, like on these tours, that you go just for 1 or 2 or 3 hours with a group, and that was it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was. I tell you, it was super fun because they told me this is a horse, this is a bow, go on the horse, and this is what you need to do, and so so it was like this my course.
Oh my God.
Pretty much like, here's the horse, don't fall off. Here's the bow and arrow. You hit that target over there. Have fun.
Yeah, basically. I mean, they didn't allow me to shoot arrows for the first week. They told me you need to come clear with the horse because I really didn't know how to ride. So they told me this is how it goes, left or right or trotting, gallop, etc. So I started really from zero.
Yes, for sure. But so you started in German.
In Germany, yes, in a place called Storkow, which is 1 hour drive from Berlin. And yeah, this now friend of mine, Christian, he was my let's call him mentor or teacher because he showed me how to do it, and I would go there every 2 weeks to train one full weekend. So I had my rental horse and a bow that I bought from him. So yep, this is what that was my life for 1 year, training hard, almost 2 weekends in per month, close to Berlin.
Okay. So after Germany, did you go to Spain then and try there, or how did you continue?
I actually stayed there in Berlin for 3 years, more or less. And then I quit my job because I wanted to go back to Spain after 13 years living in Berlin, very long time. And it was a bit sad because I really enjoyed training there in Berlin with Christian. But when I came to Spain, I stayed there not too long. Then I got a job in Austria for not too long time. It was for a couple of months. And then I came back to Spain. So I really didn't get into training in Spain because,
Okay.
yeah, also where I come from, Valencia, the city, there is nobody there doing it. So it would have taken me quite a big time to organize a place. You need to find some center with horses and, build the whole track. So I didn't really spend time on either searching or trying to build something in the last years. This is what I mean. So because now I moved to Switzerland like 9 months ago, it's been a bit chaotic the last 2 years in my life.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Yeah, it is exactly.
But when you don't have any possibilities for training and so on, do you even do any training between the contests?
So here's the thing. In Switzerland, where I'm living now in Basel, there are some people practicing the sport. They're doing it, but they don't offer trainings monthly, let's say. They do some courses sometimes or trainings just before the competitions. So here I have very little possibilities to train regularly. And this is the thing here, moving everywhere and not having a place to stay where you can develop the trainings, it's very difficult. That's why in the last 9 months I haven't shot an arrow. But if I go to a competition, let's say if I go to Barcelona, I would try to go at least 3 or 4 days before the competition to, let's say, try to get in shape, which is very difficult in 3 days because after 3 days, yeah, you go there, you train 3 days, you get destroyed, and then on the competition you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, you get the pain just in time for to start the competition.
Exactly.
You don't even shoot anything from the ground?
Yeah, I do. I bought a target and I just drive by car from the city half an hour and then I find in the forest or in some fields where there is nobody, I do some shooting every now and then. But obviously, since November, because it's cold and dark, when I finish work, it's impossible because it's dark already. So I haven't really been shooting for, yeah, 3 months maybe.
Is there any special person except for this Christian that really motivates you, or you think give you lots of knowledge, or you want to train a bit more?
Yeah, there is, I mean, there are several people I trained with, but I really enjoyed the way Anna Minkinen trains.
Yes.
Every trainer is different and they have different methodologies and how they pay attention to the details. And I've been to Finland at Anna's place 2 years ago, and then I did some trainings with her, and she really pays attention to details, and she's very serious and professional while training, and she really did some motivation for me to understand riding lessons and also shooting, not just shooting, but both of them. And she's a very good inspiration figure to me in horseback archery.
Oh, yeah. We actually did like our second episode. Was it the third with international guest? Wasn't that with Anna Minkinen? The third, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's really a big inspiration.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this May when she's come to Sweden and gonna have a clinic.
Ah, okay, that's great. I mean, she's really good. I mean, you can go to Alan Legal, to Christoph. They are all good trainers.
Yes.
Anna is strict and she's always focused on looking at you, how you do everything, technique and where your mistakes lay. So I really enjoy training with her. Just it's difficult, because she's in Finland. You need to go there and or go to the clinic here in Europe. Also possible, of course. And I will do this year absolutely at some point.
Yes. You actually must have been in pretty many countries and do horseback archery.
Yeah, I actually have been in many. For example, in 2023, when I quit my job in Berlin, then I decided to burn all my money in competition. Great idea. So in that year, I went twice to Turkey for 2 competitions, then twice to Finland, I believe only once to Hungary, then twice to France, twice to Germany, one in Italy, and I think somewhere in Poland also once or twice.
Yes. I think you and I met in Poland, in Grunwald.
Yeah, in Grunwald. That is absolutely right. This is where we met. That was back in 2023.
Yes, oh my God. I'm for sure not 2 years older since that. Uh,
You really know how to take a vacation between jobs.
I try my best, believe me. I will make a big effort. That was fun because, yeah, in every competition, I try to take also a couple of days to move around the place. I like traveling, so horseback archery is a great opportunity to take a couple of days. You are, I don't know, in France or in Hungary, you just move around. It's great, and this is why I enjoyed that year very much. Yeah, not having a job, that was perfect because I could just spend 2 weeks in Turkey and in Poland also a couple of days in the forest. So yeah, very nice.
Yes, for sure. Do you say that there's a big difference between the countries?
In which term exactly? Because I think in Europe most of the places are pretty similar, but okay, I will just say my opinion. For example, in Germany, where I've been training and competing for a very long time, because this is where I started, right? It's a very familiar community and a very small one, even though there are over 150 uh, competitors or just people practicing the sport. There are always the same ones in competition. So it's very familiar. And I really like this. I enjoyed it. So in Spain is very different. There are no competitions besides the one in Barcelona, and it's much more international than in Germany. In Germany was always the people from the country. In Barcelona is very international, very well organized. Grunwald, for example, in Poland was a bit different. It was also organized, but the mood, I think it was different. Also quite big place, right? With all these fields. Also fun. I think there are many differences, but still in Europe it's mostly the same everywhere you go, I believe.
Yes.
The horses are mostly the same, right? I went to Turkey. They are completely different. But here in Europe, yeah, I've been to Finland. Okay, they are all a bit different horses, right? Than in the rest of Europe. I would say.
Just because of they are Icelandic horses or how they are mentally?
Exactly. Because they are Icelandic horses, a bit smaller, right? And they just walk differently. But I tell you, I'm not a pro in horses, right? It's not my topic. I just like them and I learn every now and then something new. So yeah, I think that's my opinion about the different countries. There are differences, but at the end, we always meet the same people everywhere here in Europe, right? When you go to France or to Pomas in Hungary or anywhere else, the community is mostly always the same.
But in Spain, you said there are only one competition, and that's the one in Barcelona. Are sport not so widespread in Spain, or why is it only one competition?
It's a bit difficult because there is only this competition officially, the one in Barcelona. Basically, the problem is that in Spain, a bow is a weapon, so it takes a
Ah,
lot. Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous in a way, but it's the truth. So it's not that easy to organize an event with bows and arrows
okay.
because the national police needs to go there and check that everything is right, and you need permissions and stuff. So it's really not easy. And in Barcelona, in the last couple of years, they tried their best to normalize the situation, get permissions and licenses. So that's why it's working, and that is the first step to develop it in the country. But because of the situation before, everywhere in Spain was not allowed. So therefore nobody really organized any event. But nowadays it will change.
But how's that gonna work with Barcelona? The GP contest?
The GP contest has been already happening some years before. So, they got, as I said, all the permissions and there is no problem at all. You can go. It will not be cancelled. Everything. I mean, yeah, they have the permissions. And I was there last year and nothing happened. It's absolutely fine.
But I was thinking maybe it's problem for the people that come by airport with the bows and everything.
Uh, I don't remember anybody saying that there was any problem at the airport, so I believe it's fine as long as you say it's a sport equipment. I would
Oh,
say.
it's that sounds good.
Yes. Mhm. Are you going to the competition now in Mars in Barcelona?
This time I cannot because of my new job.
Okay.
That would mean, yeah, a bit of a shame because I really wanted to go and they asked me, but I said I cannot go now because of of a project that I'm actually leading in Basel. That it's about archaeology. I work in archaeology, and we are not too many people, so I cannot really take 2, 3, or 4 days free from work right in March when the project is in the middle of the season. So this time I fail.
Oh, that's typical.
Yeah, last years I was in everything I could, and now that I really wanted to go to Barcelona, it doesn't work. But so it's life. Sometimes like this. Maybe next year will work. I hope.
Yes. In Spain, if you would live there, how many months of the year would be able to training? Like, do you get any difficulties of during the seasons?
It depends. Um, by the seaside where I come from Valencia, we have over 300 days of sunlight,
Oh,
of direct sun. Yeah, it's really like this. So basically, you can train all year long, and it's not even cold. I mean, it's a bit cold. Probably one day is 5 or 6 degrees, but that's not. Yeah, I mean, this is
okay.
our cold, okay, guys? You need to understand. You need to. This
Yes,
is
okay, I believe you.
you believe it. So basically, you can train all year long from December to December, and no problem. The weather is nice. You're not gonna destroy your fingers, and you even have sunlight. I mean, until 5 p.m. every day in the winter. It's pretty easy.
Oh, this sounds nice.
Yeah, that's a good point of the seaside. But in the middle of the country, which is Madrid and other communities are around, the cold weather is different, right? It's actually really cold there. In many cities, they reach sometimes -20. People think Spain, holidays, warm. No, not in winter, guys. In the yeah, in the center of the country, like Madrid or cities like Albacete, they really reach -10 or 15 quite easy in the winter time.
Oh, yeah, that's cold.
Huh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I know. So many people don't know this because they think, oh, Spain is there in the south and it's warm and it is, but the center of the country is a bit higher than the sea level, and you can feel it in the winter. It's really cold. I mean, I'm not gonna compare it to Sweden or Finland, obviously, but it is. So therefore, you cannot train all year long in the middle of the country. Maybe you need to stop from November till February or so.
Oh, but that was pretty short time.
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, of course. It's like a little break,
Yeah.
and then again.
Yeah. In Sweden, we have like, if you don't have equipment for the cold, then you need to stop like October and you can maybe start
Oh
in
my God, yeah.
April if you live in the middle of Sweden. I think Johan has a little bit longer season, and for those who lives a little bit up north, they have shorter. You have to do like we did. We gave Isabel that electric warming clothes in the Christmas gift. So I said, now you can go out and train, whatever weather it is.
That's passion, right? Training with that cold weather and in the dark. I mean, but hey, discipline. Obviously, you just find a big hall, like a training hall, where you can just shoot with the horses doing circles. Why not? It's indoor. You can train all year long as well. Nice.
Yes, that's true. And like Finnish people, they train and have competitions, even if it's dark or it's deep snow or whatever. Yes, they just take headlights and do it anyway.
They're not normal. They're just not. They're not humans. I don't know what they are, but they're not humans.
They just wake up one morning and just, today I'm gonna train some, no matter if it's a snowstorm or whatever.
Yeah, I just follow some
Yes.
of them on Instagram, and then you see now I don't know, in January, some posts like, "Oh, great day of shooting," and it's completely dark with the torch on the and snow, and I'm like, guys, what is
Yeah.
wrong with you? Very funny. But hey, again, I say it is discipline amazing. I have to say.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's a reason why the Finnish team are very high scored on the ranking. They are well disciplined.
Yeah, it's another level. They really train so much and very disciplined, and every week. I mean, that's why Finnish team is one of the top three. Of course. I mean, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and like when they go to a competition in Germany or Italy or whatever, and it's raining, they are like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, we love it.
Yes.
And it's raining. I'm thinking, oh my god, my legs are gonna get wet, and then my fingers will slip from the. I mean, the arrow will slip from the fingers, and blah blah blah, and I don't feel the finger. Oh my god. Yeah, different story, different approach.
Yes. We actually did arrange a competition some year ago, and we have a guest from a pretty warmer country than Sweden are, and it was raining. And they say, "Wait, hey, we can't start the competition now. It's raining." And I said, "Yeah, for sure, we can wait to December. Then it's snowing. No problem."
Great. Well, I mean, this reminds me of something that told us Christoph Nemeti once when we were at the competition in Pomas, and he said, "Guys, even if it rains, we compete just because our ancestors did go to war with no matter what the weather was like, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
matter if it's
Yes.
raining or storming like hell or it's a sunny, very hot sunny day. They were there doing their thing. So that's why we do competition with the weather the way it is. Fair enough.
The traditional way.
Yes, that's very true.
And not like the softy way, like, oh my God, my nails now with a couple of raindrops.
Well, if you had your own arena, like you obviously don't have right now, what would you think about the seasons? Do you think you would focus on techniques in the winter, or do you have any thought about how you would want to have it?
Okay, so if I had my own arena, or I mean, just an arena where I can train, basically, right?
Yeah, a place, a farm, or whatever.
Yeah, okay, whatever, right? So if I had one, which obviously now will be the purpose for this year to find a place, at least to do riding, I would definitely try to do at least every 2 weeks some couple of days of training, like technique, riding. Obviously, I'm not good, so I always need to improve. Thanks to Anna Mintinen and Alan Legal, I improved a lot in riding. Also in Pomas with the group there, Christoph group or team also taught me how to ride. So everything was a little improvement. But if you don't do it often, you forget or you get unfit and right, you lose it a bit. So
Yes.
if I had my place, I would definitely do every second week, very intense training. At least that. If I can do weekly because the farm or the place is close to where I live, I would definitely go weekly to do it. And also the same for shooting arrows. I need a place that is indoors because no matter the weather, then I can do training the technique. Every time I go to a competition now, I'm completely unfit, and it's like starting from not from zero but very low, because if you don't train, if you don't shoot arrows regularly, it's the technique goes away, the fingers hurt, and you know how it is, right? You know how it feels.
Yeah, you're gonna be missing the muscle memory.
Exactly, muscle memory, speed in pulling the arrows. You know all the thing behind the shooting an arrow. But yeah, if I had a place, I would absolutely train weekly if it was possible because I love the sport, like we all do.
Yes.
So when I go to a competition, it's for fun, but not. Meaning, it's fun to me, but I want to have good results for myself. And I know I haven't been doing it because I lack the training for the last year or year and a half.
Yes. Do you have any thoughts about the future for this sport?
I see every year that more people or new people are joining the sport, so it is definitely developing or getting widespread, better known, at least in Europe. And it doesn't grow fast, but still it does a bit every year. This is what I realized. And the future, I mean, what would be the best future? That it gets Olympic, right? That would be the top of the
That would be a dream.
That would be a dream that we would always, all of us would like to go to the Olympics, right? That would be amazing. And I think this is the future, and this is what the IHAA is trying hard. Alan Legal and Christoph Meneti, I think they're trying their best to regularize the situation, try to make it public to everybody, more public as possible, and to reach the Olympics. So I would say that is the future of the sport. I mean, there are already competitions in every country. There will be more for sure because people start with the sport and they say, I also want to have my farm and organize my competitions. And every year there is a new place where you can go to. So I think it has a good future, a good one, hopefully.
Yes. Yeah, I hope so also. We have a big problem in Sweden. We don't have quite the development that you had wished. We don't have so many new practitioners in Sweden as we would love to have. But if you look at the Europe, it's actually growing. So I hope that it might start growing even in Sweden.
I think it depends on how many events are in every country organized. So the more they are, the more people it reaches. So also when there are competitions, mostly they are not public in the sense of they don't do a big announcement anywhere. We just know about the competitions ourselves because we know in the community, we know all of us. And then we say, hey, there's this competition. Are you joining? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But at the end, you see basically not really a lot of public in the competitions in Europe. I think if it goes this way, it's difficult that the community grows bigger and faster. But how to do it? Obviously, you cannot probably put it on a TV. It costs a lot of money. But you just put some posters somewhere, then it helps. Like when I was here, last competition was actually here in Sweden, in Switzerland, and they did some effort to make it public, and we had some public looking at the competition. So it was fun to see that. Yeah, it can be.
Yes. Do you have any advice for our new listener that maybe have heard of this sport and try to find, a start?
That's a good question. When I started in Berlin, they told me, as I told you guys before, how I started, right? They told me this is a horse. Well, that's a bit stupid, but no, they didn't say this, but this is how it works with a horse. This is what you need to do, and I learned that way. But I was also doing it on my own, a lot of shooting, and you think you're doing it right, or also riding. Oh, I'm doing it right, but if you don't have trainings or classes where you can improve the technique and do things right, what happens is what happened to me, that I was doing everything kind of wrong. And when I went to Christoph in Hungary, he said, you suck. Like, your, your technique is terrible, guy. And I was like, why? So my piece of advice is we all think that we do it right, but the best is to find a good trainer, do a course, get the technique, and then try to improve it at home or at your training place. But at least the basics need to be there from a professional. This is what I would do now.
So you find a trainer, you go there, you get the technique, you go home and train some, you go back, hear that you're doing it wrong, and you get the adjustments, and then you can go home and train for real at home.
Yeah, that's the thing. Without a trainer, it's difficult to see your own mistakes. You need to have a camera,
Yeah.
and in the best case scenario, you just film yourself shooting arrows and riding, and then you can ask someone who could be your trainer. Let's say Christoph, for example. Then you send the videos and say, Christoph, can you just tell me if it's good or not? That's it. So that would be the best case scenario if you don't have a trainer close to you, because obviously flying or driving to any of the trainers here in Europe, it's yeah, it takes time and money, effort. So it's worth, yes, but you cannot do it so often. That's what I mean. And that would be my piece of advice if it's possible. And never give up, because some people they think, oh, I'm horrible, I'm terrible with the sport, so I will quit. And I'm like, no, keep doing it. You love it. You just need to train more regularly, like I do. because I also think of that about myself. I'm like, oh, that was terrible. These last competitions, I like it so much, but if I don't train, this is what I can do, and that's not good. So never give up, keep trying, and go to the trainers as much as you can.
Yes, it's really good advice. We had another guy that we asked the same question. Do you have any advice for our new listener? And he said, just do it.
Just do it. Exactly. Never give up. Just do it. I mean that we are not all great horseback archers. It's difficult, you know. You compare to these teenagers who are the best now in the world, right? Or some people who has the touch of horseback archery. They have, right? They just shoot arrows and they hit the target. Easy peasy. They don't train much. They just have it. But that doesn't mean that you cannot do it. It will take you more effort and more time. But hey, do you like it? Then do it. Just do it.
Yes, it's very, very wise word. But Jose, do you have a great memory that you want to share with us? Your best memory from horseback archery?
Oh, yes, I do. I have this one that it got stuck in my mind. And it's actually, I mean, it's funny for me, but I will never forget. I trained, as I told you before, in Berlin, couple of weeks on the horse, trying to get used to it, to riding without the hands. Yeah, you need to ride without holding the horse. So parallel, I also did some shooting on the ground, not on the horse. And one day after, I don't know, I would say probably 3 or 4 weeks, the Christian, this guy was not there and also not the owner of the farm. So I thought, damn, I'm going to take the bow and go on the horse. And I took the bow, couple of arrows, got on the horse. I had been already going on the track without the bow, just galloping, right? And then this happened that I just got on the horse, started to gallop, took the bow, and took my time to put the arrow on the bow. I was not fast, obviously, but then I pulled, and when I saw the arrow flying to the target, I thought, what is this? Like seriously, I was like in heaven that moment. Seriously, it was the most impressive moment, one of the best I ever had, and I was so sad nobody was there to see it. But I was actually not allowed to do that on my own. It's a memory for myself, and now for you guys.
Yes. I
It
think it
sounds
was,
really nice.
yeah, it was an awesome memory.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Seriously, because I cannot really actually explain the feeling of that first arrow without having trained with the trainer there, just me on the horse, because I consider myself a person who says, like, just do it. And I just do it. Never mind. Just go on the horse and whatever happens, it happens. It's not that I don't have any fear or worries, but I think if I start thinking, I will not do it. So just go. And the feeling at that moment was just great. I don't know if I could even describe it. Yeah, that's my story.
I think it was an awesome memory. I think it's the first one that we have this question for every guest, and I think you are the first one that actually mentioned the first arrow. The other one have more spoken about like first competition or that, especially hand track or.
Okay, yeah, makes
But yeah,
sense.
I think it was a nice memory. I think.
Thank you. I think it is. I think it is because obviously hand track, the first one, it's amazing, right? The 1 minute or 1 minute and a half or two, just galloping and shooting arrows like there's no tomorrow. It's an amazing memory. I do have it as well. But the feeling of the first arrow on the horse for the first time, that is my top one. Absolutely.
I actually think you are the first one I even hear about that really remember the first arrow from horseback.
Really? Probably because I did it illegally and it really
Yeah, that
Maybe.
might do it even better.
yeah, that's why it's really clear in my mind. Maybe because of this, it feels good. Like illegal. I'm
Yeah.
not supposed to be here, but whatever, guys.
It's like shoplifting for elite sportsmen.
Exactly.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yeah.
interesting that nobody says that or said that before. Interesting. Like first competition, of course.
And I was even thinking on life outside the podcast, and I can't remember anyone been talking about it.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Well, Jose, it was a great pleasure to have you with us. I'm really grateful that you wanted to join us on our podcast.
Thank you guys for inviting. It was actually really fun talking to you guys. Very very shortly because it's been probably I don't know 40 minutes or like something like this. But it was fun. I was having a lot of fun, as you can see, telling the stories and laughing. So thank you guys for the invitation. Actually, it makes me proud, to be on a podcast. So I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, it was really nice to have you here.
And to all our listeners, we say please give us some star where you find your podcast on Spotify. I think you can do it. Is it more place, Johan?
We got our Facebook side with the same name as the podcast, and you can find us with Apple's, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yes. So I say goodbye to everybody and thank you again, Jose, and have a really nice evening.
Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.